Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out. Welcome, everyone. We want to Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it. Ow!
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. Unlock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Sorry, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. My name is Shannon, and tonight we are talking about discouragement and how we fight discouragement. And there was a reason why. Good evening, Dee. How are you tonight? Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Please tune in, chime in, let me know that you're here. I chose this particular topic this week because, hey, Tinge, good evening, baby. Good evening. Hello, Sierra. Hello, darling. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. So, the reason why I decided to talk about fighting discouragement is because a lot of people deal with discouragement on a day-to-day basis. And we need to find new ways to encourage ourselves in the endeavors that we are going through in our lives today. I know that in this past year, in 2020, a lot of people have discovered their niche, their spark. A lot of people have discovered their purpose and the things that they want to do in their lives. So they're starting new businesses. Like earlier this year, we did Black businesses and the stigma around it, where I had a couple of Black businesses that just started, that just came into fruition in 2020. Some were before then, but we talked about the different things that you have to get over, and even just to start a business. And one of the articles that I had read was that there was an influx in African-American businesses being open. Now, this is not just about African-Americans. This is about people, period, who have stepped out on faith, took that leap of faith, and believed in themselves to move forward and to do something outside of the box that people, places, and things tend to put us under. So discouragement, so I was praying about it. Like everybody knows, I pray about everything. And I was praying and I was asking God to show me what would be my opening statement with discouragement, right? And so the first thing that he told me was that there are 3 things that discourages you. The first thing is the word seeds that was planted in you when you were younger, right? Oh, you really think you could do that? Oh, don't even try that. Oh, you're not good at that. Don't do that. Those are little word seeds. Then you can be discouraged by what you see, because you may have put the effort and the time and the energy into something and have not seen it come to fruition yet. So you can get discouraged by what you see or what you don't see. And the last thing is you can be discouraged from yourself. The negative self-talk that we speak to ourselves, that will kind of stop us or hinder us or even prolong the things that we want to do in our lives because of our negative self-talk. So, like I said, it's three things. It's the things that you were told when you were younger, or even even in your adult age. People be laughing and joking and things of that nature, and they'll say things that will actually take root in your spirit, that will actually dissuade you or discourage you from moving on or pressing on with that vision or that plan that you had. So, and then I also wanted to talk about the naysayers, the people that will sit there and tell you, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you won't do that. Or even the naysayers that you may not even know are being naysayers against you or against what you have going on. Because a lot of times naysayers, they're like the people who throw the rock and hide their hand. They don't really talk about you or say the things about you in your face, right? They'll talk about it to somebody else, which puts words in the atmosphere because, again, I'm not a clinical doctor. I'm a faith believer, and I've gone through a lot of different things. So I just talk from my viewpoint. And this is just for all the new people that will log on, that this show is about perspective. So please understand that this is from things that I've gone through in my life, the stories that I've heard, and just research that I've done on these particular topics. And discouragement is a real heavy duty stronghold where we don't even realize sometimes that we're connected or that it's connected to us. And it's because of the people, places, and things that we have around us. So, of course, I've done tons of research and pulled up so many different things that we can actually go over. So, the first thing that, as usual, I tell you the definition of the thing that we're talking about. And so discouragement from Oxford Languages, the dictionary. Now, you can be discouraged or a person can discourage you. So discouragement, the noun, a loss of confidence or enthusiasm or dispiritedness. Okay, so you can just lose your enthusiasm on the very thing that you were supposed to build and grow and plant and sow into. You can lose the confidence and the enthusiasm and the spirit behind the very thing that you're supposed to be doing. Hey, on Instagram, thank you, Theology. So, and then the discourager, because there's always a discourager as well. So the discourager is like an attempt to prevent something by showing disapproval or creating difficulties or deterrent. So let me know, hey Tony, let me know in the comments, have you had anyone in your life? Hey Tifa, good morning. Good morning. Good evening, yes. Good evening, Tiff. So, have you ever had anyone that stood in your way with disapproving looks? Even looks will get you. Hey, Sean. Even looks will get you. You know what I mean? Oh, disapproving looks. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, are you sure? Those are seeds of doubt that can hinder and stop people from progressing in their vision. So I want to give y'all a scripture, right? The scripture that I want to give you, and Tifa, if you can, thank you so much for being on here. Can you put up Habakkuk 2 for me? Because one of the things, and I'm going to always give you scripture based because everything is in the Bible, and whether you want to believe it or not, that's totally up to you. But Habakkuk 2, Habakkuk 2 in the King James Version states, "And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And so, hey, Anna. So, that's one of my favorite scriptures, okay? And the reason why is because, and it's really the last one, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Now, but before that, it says it will tarry, which means that sometimes when you write your vision, it takes a process. And though it may take some time, energy, effort, sweat, tears, anger, happiness, confusion sometimes, all of these different things, it can happen, right? But wait, don't be discouraged. Keep pushing. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So these are the things that I really want you guys to really understand, that although you may not see the very thing that you envisioned in your head coming to fruition, that doesn't mean that it's not going to come. That doesn't mean that it's not already here, or it's not already working in the background for you. You understand what I mean? But a lot of times we get discouraged, okay? I know that there was a lot of things that people would tell me that I wouldn't be, just at the root of it. When I first, and the discouragement comes from different from people from in your family. Okay, so one of the things that my mom used to say when I was doing At the Root of It, right? When I first decided to do it, the first thing my mother says, what makes you think people want to hear about you? Okay. And I'm like, it's not really about me, but it's about the experiences that I've experienced and that I've gone through, and I've made it through, that could possibly help other people. But now that came from my mother, right? So it's like, I should have just stopped right then and there, because it came from her. So thank you, Tifa. This is the King James version of that word, Habakkuk 2. "And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run from it, that readeth it." All right, and here goes my notes. So this is a good thing, because I don't know how many people get discouraged by what they see. And this was just something that came up for me. And I'm not discouraged in any way, but what if the person next to me is discouraged? So what if the people that's in my friend group, or in my community, in my close proximity of friends, what if somebody in that group is discouraged? What can we say? What can we do to assist? What are the things that we can help with to keep them from not being discouraged? Because the word says, wait for it. Though it tarry, it'll surely come. Wait for it. It will not tarry. All right? So the biblical meaning of discouragement is, it says something that discourages. But to deprive, the meaning of discouraged, to deprive of courage or confidence. Disheartened, was discouraged by repeated failure. So how many people, hello, Annie, nice to see you again. Thank you so very much for coming on. And so, how many times, who has ever heard that saying that it took a million fails or 100 no's until you got a yes? Or how many times inventors had to fail before they actually got the right patent? Okay, so failure doesn't mean that you're not able to succeed. It means try again. It means find another route. It means, okay, maybe you missed something. Maybe there was something that you was missing that needed to be added to that equation. So it's just it's just those things, right? To hinder by disfavoring or trying to discourage people, dissuade people, to attempt to dissuade people, right? So let me tell you what the root of discouragement is. The verb discourage has roots in the French word discourager. I know I probably said that wrong, but which comes from des, meaning away, and courage. So when you discourage someone, you can think of it as taking his courage or enthusiasm away. So this is one of the things that I really wanted to bring to light, is that sometimes we don't even realize that we are the discourager, that we take the enthusiasm and the fun and the happiness for what we discovered, whatever that vision is that we had, and we can take the enthusiasm and the courage to push on away from people by the word seeds that we plant. Okay, so I just want us to be mindful that of our words that we say to people, because people take leaps of faith, especially in this season, in this time, in this day, in this age. We are all taking leaps of faith, believing that this is our time, this is our season to do different things, to try different things, and to work different angles. Okay, so there was some suggestions that I wanted to give people. And please chime in. What are the things that you were discouraged from? What were the things that like before you got to where you are now, what were the words? What were the things that you were told that you couldn't do that you know now that you can do? You know, because I know there has been a lot of things said to me due to just what people perceived about me. You know what I mean? They didn't believe that when I was going through all the things that I was going through, that God was going to use the very things that I went through to produce a business and a show to help other people around the world. But if you would have looked at my life, you would have thought that I was getting everything wrong, but actually he was teaching me how to treat and learn people. Not a lot of people are cut out. Not a lot of people could have walked in the shoes or walked the walk that I've walked and still kept the level head, still was able to be happy and keep the joy of the Lord, which is my strength. So, you know, but I was discouraged more than 100 times throughout my walk, but I never gave up. I never gave in. And I won't give up, and I won't give in regardless of the naysayers. That's another thing. Okay, so we have naysayers in our lives as well. So Tifa says, yes, we can be very condescending. Yes, we can be very condescending. KK says, everything, just because they wouldn't do it, I shouldn't. Shake my head. I grew built in blinders. Right. You're right. Now, a lot of times people discourage you because they don't have the vision or the fortitude or the mindset to want to chase after their dreams. So they will try to dissuade you to say, oh, you don't need to do that. Don't worry about that. So let's see. So Tony says he was told he couldn't sing. Now, everybody who knows Tony Coleman, T. Coleman, knows that that man can sing. But why would people tell you that you couldn't sing? Well, because they didn't believe that that their dream, or not that they didn't believe, but their dream didn't come true. So that's why yours won't. Well, you're a different person. You have different ways of going about things. Like, people always try to project their failures or their inability to take those leap of faith on things. So they try to limit you and keep you boxed in because they're boxed in their limited beliefs and their ideologies and things of that nature. Okay, so D says there are people who discourage you with their actions, not saying anything at all. Right. They okay, so I can say, like, if I use at the root of it, because I can only use what pertains to me, right? So in the beginning, when I first started at the root of it, there wasn't a lot of people. My parents didn't actually support. They didn't support. They didn't look at the show. They didn't accept my friend requests. They didn't do any of that. They were not interested in what I was trying to do. And that was a tad bit discouraging for me, because this was a big step for me to want to go out and step out on faith and believe what God was telling me. And for me not to have the backing and the support of my parents, it was very disheartening. However, it did not stop me from doing the things that I needed to do to accomplish the things that I set out to accomplish. Okay. And did it make me sad? Yes, it did. Did they finally come around? Yes, they did. But what I've learned also is that people kind of discourage you off of your track record. Okay, so who can agree with me with that? Sometimes your track record shows people that you're really not gonna do the very thing that you're telling them that you're gonna do, because you've said X, Y, Z so many times. So now they're like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll believe it when I see it. But maybe it wasn't your time, maybe it wasn't your season, maybe it just wasn't the time for you to actually put it into action. Maybe it was more planning time that needed to occur, opposed to just launching it. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, keep going, keep striving, keep pushing, keep moving, right? So Dion says action or inaction, right? Now I need to figure out when you said that and why you said that, D. Yes, D. She said, what? Tony, jealousy. Right. Tony, they was talking about jealousy. Oh, you can't sing? They didn't want you to sing. You know what I mean? They didn't want you to be better than them. Okay? Tifa said the devil is a liar. That man can sing. Right. And he really can sing. You know what I mean? But of course, there are people and naysayers. So let me give you the definition of a naysayer, okay? Because I really looked it up, because I was like, this is ridiculous. Okay, so the definition of a naysayer is one who denies, refuses, opposes, or is skeptical or cynical about something. They are always naysayers who say it cannot be done. Okay, so I know that we have a lot of people around us that could possibly say those things to us. I want to just be on this show tonight to tell everybody who has a dream, who has a vision, who has some form. One of the things is I want to go back to the word seeds that were planted when you were younger, right? And we don't think that it actually took fruition or took root, but do a self-check. The very thing that you wanted to do, that the naysayer said that you couldn't do, did you actually go forward and do it? Did you ignore what the naysayer said, or did you actually sit back on your laurels and say, okay, maybe they're right? Or maybe you lost the zeal that you once had once they said what they said, and then you never pursued it. Why? The reason why is because those seeds really actually took root. So that's why we have to be very careful with the words that we say to ourselves and to other people, because we don't even know that we may be the discourager, not because we can't see it, but because of the words that we said. Like, or it is that we can't see it. So because we can't see it, we'll dissuade. We have to be mindful. We have to be understanding, and we have to know that we can do all things. If you put your mind to it, the Bible says we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us, right? So we have to be proactive against the naysayers, against the negative self-talk, against all of the hindrances and the roadblocks that come while we're trying to reach our goal. I remember in one of the shows I kept saying slow and easy wins the race. So those are for the people who have put out their vision and wrote the vision and made it plain, but they're waiting on it. Don't worry about it. It's going to come to fruition. As long as you are faithful, as long as you are consistent and persistent in your goals, and you keep pushing and you keep finding new intuitive new ideas and witty ideas. The Bible says that God will give us witty ideas and inventions, right? But if we don't hone in on it and really concentrate on it and do not get distracted. There was one thing that I saw, it was a meme that said, you don't know that you're distracted until you're out of the distraction and realize that you was distracted the whole time. Like, it's certain things that it's like, wow, I didn't even know that distracted me from my goal. I thought I was doing X, Y, Z, but I actually stagnated myself. I know about that as well. So Tifa says, my naysayers are my motivators. Yes, and that's a good thing. You know, if we can just find a way to shift it. It's like a combination lock. You know, you can turn the combination. If you're one number off, you won't get that lock open. So we have to shift our perception. You know what I mean? On these things, on the things that people say that we cannot do. Okay? And again, even though we can't see everything, okay? And maybe it's going slower than you thought it was going to be. Or maybe it hasn't picked up yet. It was the same thing, it's slower than you expected it to be, right? That doesn't mean to give up. That means to find another way, to shift, to find another way, right? Right, Tony. So the seeds that people have sown into you at an earlier age, or even in your 20s, even in your 30s, you know what I mean? Even now in my 40s, people can sow ill seeds and discouraging seeds. It's up to us to find positive affirmations on what we can say, what we can do to push through when we don't feel like it. Those are, and the thing is, a lot of times we think that we lose interest and it's because of us. And I tell people all the time that words, death and life is in the power of the tongue. That's the Bible. But I also say words can hurt you. Words can really, really hurt you. So you have to be able to talk yourself into going further, to not give up, whether you write it, whether you speak it in the mirror and you talk to yourself every day in the mirror and say, you will succeed, you will strive, you will make it, you will be prosperous, you will be healthy, you will be whole, whatever your affirmation is, you will be successful. You know, these are the things that you have to say. And because whatsoever a man thinketh, that so he is. If your negative self-thought supersedes your positive affirmations, you may stay stagnant. Keep pushing. You know, like Tifa, like I'll use all of the people that's online right now, right, with me. So Tifa is a designer, right? She has designs by Latifa Sabah. She does graphic designs and she does all types of things. She can do party favors, she can do everything, right? But she had to learn her craft. Okay? So say people try to discourage you and you're not at the top tier of your career, but you're still learning. You have to put in the work, put in the extra effort to find out those things. Like I have to find out certain things on the media side of At the Root of It so that I can get more access. But it means that I have to study, not give up, right? I have to study, right? So let's see. Oh, Tony said, Latifa Sabah, that is it right there. And Tifa said, yes, brother. Okay, so let's see. Because, and I know that when you're in a headspace, if you don't know how to talk yourself out of it, you can stay there for some time and miss an opportunity to meet the right people to assist you. You know, if you stay quiet because they say, "Oh, why would you think that you will be able to do it?" I said I was going to write a book about my life, right? I said I was going to write a book about my life, and someone said, "What makes you think that people want to hear about your life?" And I haven't written a book yet. So I know for a fact that those word seeds actually hindered my progress. Now, what do I do now? I'm like, now I think that I can write the book now because I did my very first show, which is how I got to the root of me, which I spoke about a lot of the things in my life. So now I'm not so gun shy. Now I know that people can relate. People relate to people who have been through some things, because if they see that you've come out on the other side, then they believe that if they try, they can come out on the other side as well. So we're going to encourage people to start that business, to write that book, to teach that class, to go back to school. You know, we have to be that cheerleader in people's lives. Yes, study to show yourself approved. You know, find out different ways that you can hone in on your things and get out your own way. A lot of times, procrastination is another thing that's a discouragement, a personal discouragement. I know that that's a personal discouragement for myself. It may not be for everybody, but it's for me. It's procrastination. When you procrastinate and you wait and you wait and you wait, then all of a sudden, now it's like, oh, I might as well not do it now because, you know, why should I? The time has passed, right? So Dion says, studying and knowing your craft gets you moving away from the discouragement. Yes, it does. It helps you. It helps you push forward. It helps you, right? So some other words for naysayers is a cynic, a doubter, pessimist, defeatist, downer, sourpuss, gloomy, complainer, and killjoy. Right? Those are some of those words, right? So Tifa says influence is very powerful. Our thoughts are shaped by what we are allowed to penetrate our hearts. Right. So if we already have limited self-doubt or we have limited belief in ourselves and self-doubt, those words, it doesn't take much. It's just like I said last week, anything with a little leaven leavens the whole lump. It doesn't take much discouragement to knock somebody off course. So we have to be mindful as people not to do that, because guess what? We'll be held accountable for that. I don't think you realize that, but you can be held accountable for helping people miss their mark because you're jealous or you're envious. And like I said before, all these things tie together like the show Manifest. It's all together. It all runs together. So Tifa says, surrounding yourself with people who have wisdom in the area you are passionate about is key. Yes. So you ever heard the saying of, you know, hang around the people that you want to be like, or be in the company of the people of the people that you're striving to be like. I know I chopped that one up, but snap, snip, snip, I chopped that one up. But you know, surround yourself, go to different places. I remember, I think it was Tyrese. I think Tyrese said, even if you can't afford it, go to an expensive restaurant where you know the people that you strive to be like, attend and buy a drink, right? It's sit there and nurse that drink, okay? You may not have the money to even be in there, but make sure you have enough to just buy a drink, whether it's an iced tea, whether it's something, and get yourself acclimated to being around the people that you strive to be like, right? Okay, so now I wanted to look at confidence, okay, and the definition of confidence, because sometimes people discourage you because they think you're too cocky, because they think you are know-it-all, because they think, oh, you think you better. And so I wanted to give the definition of confidence and pride, the differences between pride and confidence, vanity and confidence, okay? Because people will hate on you because you're confident in your belief in yourself to fulfill your purpose in your life. And because people are not God and people's thoughts can't even begin to think on the level of God, sometimes they can't even fathom the thing that God opens the door up for you to. Like, did I say that right? You know what I mean? Like, they can't even understand that God is using you of all people for this opportunity. Why? Because they didn't use them. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, confidence, the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust. Firm trust. Okay? The state of feeling certain. Okay? A feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's abilities and qualities. Okay? So this is just self-assurance, self-confidence. These are the similar words: trust, belief, faith, credence, right? So the difference between pride and the difference between confidence. According to the Oxford Dictionary, pride is defined as the quality of having an excessively high opinion of oneself or one's importance, whereas confidence is defined as a feeling of self-assurance arising from an appreciation of one's own abilities and qualities. So Tam says, could it be that they know you're better? Yes, yes, that could be another reason. And jealousy and envy, again, one of our other show topics, jealousy and envy lays heavy on why people discourage you. Again, it's a projection of how they believe and what they believe in themselves. If they never ventured out, if they never took a leap of faith in any area in their life, they're going to be scared for you to do it. But scared money don't make no money, okay? In order for you to even try, you have to take a chance. And what better way to do it than to take a chance on your abilities? You know who you are. You know what you can do. You know what I mean? And you know what you can do. But you'll be surprised if you apply yourself what you really can accomplish. You know what I mean? And it's like, you really, I didn't understand. Like, when I first started the show, the first 10 shows, the first 10 episodes, I had a producer and a director, and he helped me with so many different things. When we moved and everything got shifted, I could have been discouraged. Okay, I could have said, oh, now I don't have my set up, and I don't have a producer, and I don't have a director, and I don't have the things that I used to have. I could have been discouraged, but I did not give up. I did not give in. And in all actuality, the very thing that, I would get views on those first 10 shows. But what I really saw and what God, I believe, showed me was that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. That there's more people that watch the show today than it did the first 10 episodes. Why? Because there were certain things that was being done that was not touching on the issues at hand. And not to say that I don't want to move back to that, because I really do, but I want to get to the issues of people so that we can help heal and be free. You know what I mean? Because we carry so much baggage and we act like things are not bothering us, and things, the very things that are hindering us from even trying to figure out what our purpose is, because of those seeds, because of what people have said to us that stared us away from our goals and our aspirations. And we got to get it together, and we got to understand that we are the co-creators of our destiny. And the only way that anything can be stopped is if we stop it, whether that's negative self-talk, or if we gotta pluck up the seed of discouragement out of our fertile ground, so that we can grow faith and we can grow courage. Okay? So D says, knowing your craft gives you confidence. Yes, when you know what your purpose is, when you know what your purpose is, you know what you're fighting for. When you don't know what your purpose is, you know that you're in a fight, but you don't know what you're fighting for. And so I think that the healthy part of you is to sit down. What you need to do is sit down and figure out what you're good at and what can help people and help yourself. I mean, that's what I did for me. Now, if you're a baker like my sister, you're not going to write down what can help you in the areas of your life. You're going to write down recipes, flavors, things of that nature. If you if you're Tifa, you're not going to write down what things that will help you speak better. No, you will look at fonts and graphics and colors and things of that nature. Tony won't look at how to speak and what to speak about and topics and things of that nature unless he's about to write a song that he's going to sing. Everybody has their own purpose, their own drive, their own course of life. And if the older people in your life were scared to take a step out on faith, then they will kind of try to deter you into doing the same, because fear is the number one source of discouragement, because they don't know what's on the other side. And because they don't know what's on the other side and you don't know what's on the other side, you might as well just stay here safer. But that's not how God works. He says, take that leap, walk by faith and not by sight. Know that I'm with you. Know that I will make your crooked road straight for you if you just walk. Now, if it's not in his will and in his purpose, those things might not happen. Okay? So that's another thing too. And, I'm not saying, because he reigns on the just and the unjust, and he allows things to, to come to fruition that we probably wouldn't even understand why he did. However, when we know that it is a God-given purpose on our lives, it brings no sorrow. Okay? It brings no sorrow. It'll bring work. You will have to work. You will have to, be tenacious and constant and consistent on it, but it won't bring sorrow. Even in business, it says it takes 5 years for a business to get up running. 5 years, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. So Dion says, when you have studied and have done the work to hone your craft, it makes you bold. Yes, it does. It makes you confident, not cocky, and not selfish or self-indulgent. It makes you confident in knowing that you do have this ability, that you do have the knack or the good. Tony, he says, I'm back. I didn't even know you was gone. Well, I was talking about you anyway. Asked him what I said. But, I just really want to encourage people to don't give up on your dream. And if you haven't even started, take that leap of faith. X out all of the communication that does not benefit you. We know how to separate, as the Bible says, separate the wheat from the tares. You know what I mean? But you have to be able to separate the good advice from the bad advice. You have to be able to discern who's really in your corner and who's not, because there's haters that are friends that are really your enemies. They're called frenemies. So the people that you would think that is your friends that are staying in your corner and should be your cheerleader, and they're like, oh yeah, oh that's what you're doing. Oh, those are the people that you have to get out of your life. Those are the people that you have to separate from because they don't see your vision. And not everybody is meant to see your vision because it's your vision. Okay? It's your vision. If God gave it to them, then they should do it. But God gave it to you. So handle your vision with care. Do not allow people, places, and things to discourage you and to steer you away from your dreams. You gotta, you know, we only have one life to live. And the way that this world is going, we may not have much longer on this earth. So why wouldn't you take the leap of faith to see what your purpose is? Okay? You got to see what your purpose is. So Tifa says, sometimes Judas is in the camp for a reason. Now that is some meat, you know? Judas had a purpose, and that purpose was to betray Jesus, right? But when he did that, everything that God planned to happen happened. It may not look right. It may not even feel right. You may, is it Israel Newbury where he did this song and he said it's darkest before dawn. I remember when he said it. It was like it's the darkest before dawn. So right before the dawn or the sun comes out, you go through many trials, many tribulations, many things that could discourage you, but you have to stand flat-footed and keep forging ahead. As I said in my prayer, in one of our prayers, and my daughter was even brought it up, it's such a face like flint. Do not be moved by what you see and by what you hear. But know that whatever you put your time, effort, and energy in, it will come to fruition. If you work it, okay? If you don't work it, it won't work. Nothing will fall in your lap, but you have to work it. You said it's getting real, Tony. It is, because we have to really understand. And it is. I believe that you're saying it's getting real out here as far as the signs of the times. Like, really. I mean, we should be wanting to find out what our purpose is and what God has for us, because we may not be here for long. You understand what I mean? My beliefs, it may not be yours, and I'm not forcing it. But what I am saying is that, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. That's all I'm going to say. So I have some ways that you can be confident without being arrogant, because people may perceive your confidence as arrogance or conceit because you understand your position. You know who you are, and you know who and whose you are. You know what you're striving for. You cannot be deterred. So it's one of the things says, watch your words. Speaking as if you are better than anyone else is arrogance and not confidence. So be mindful of your words. You know what I mean? Because if you're giving people if you're giving them reason to think that you're conceited or arrogant, it's probably because of the words that you chose. If they hear a lot of I, and not a lot of acknowledgement of the people that has helped them or things of that nature. So watch your words. 2, acknowledge your areas of weakness. Where you're weak, those are the areas that you can strengthen to make you even better. Own your mistakes. So when you're confident, right, you know that mistakes happen, and you're not ashamed to say, oh, wow, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. But Now I know what not to do. You understand what I mean? Like, it's all about your perception. So persecution comes with the 100-fold. We can't be afraid. It's go time. Right. We cannot be afraid. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, joy, and of sound mind. So we have to keep pushing. We have to keep striving. No matter what people say, no matter what people do, because those people, those naysayers are going to be there. What are you going to do? Are you going to allow them to win and steal your joy, your life, your whole path? Are you gonna allow them to steal it, and you stay stagnant and wonder why and have the shoulda, coulda, wouldas? Or are you gonna bypass that and knock all of the naysayers and all of the negative self-talk and all of the word seeds that was planted in your life that took root? Are you gonna knock them out and say, I can do all things that I put my mind to do? I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I can do all things. I can do all things. I can do all things. Keep saying it. I can do all things. Anything that is put before me, I can do it. Anything, he'll give me the wisdom to do it. I can do it. I can do it. Instead of saying, I can't do that. That's the negative self-talk. Again, we get in our own way. So my niece, I was talking to my niece prior to the show, and she said, what if you had positive seeds sown into your life saying you are going to be this, you're going to be that, and you get discouraged because you haven't seen it yet? And I said to her, well, one of the things that you need to look at is that you have to look at, are you doing everything that you can to bring this dream into fruition? Have you done all that you can do to make this dream a reality? If you said no to those two questions, then you're the reason why it hasn't come into fruition yet. Because we stand in our own way too. We can't always point fingers at people, because sometimes the people is us. So, let's identify who and what it is that's discouraging us, and learn to write affirmations. Make it an affirmation Monday where you write it down and you make the vision plain upon a tablet that whoever reads it will run from it. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will not tarry. It will come in its appointed time. That's all that it means. Everything will come in an appointed time. We just have to be mindful, and we have to be steadfast and unmovable in our beliefs that what the vision that we got was for us. And although it hasn't come to fruition, maybe we need to prove some things back. Maybe there's some things that we still have in us that is hindering us, that maybe God said, no, not yet, you're not ready, because you can die in this season because you're not ready. Or whatever the case may be. But it should never be for a lack of trying or a fear of trying. Step out on faith. It's okay to hear no. It's okay to hear no. No doesn't mean, it doesn't mean denied. It doesn't mean denied. It just means not right now, or not this particular thing. But don't be discouraged. Joy comes in the morning. Yes, Tony. Also, timing is everything. That's why we want everything quick. And it may take 4 years out of that 5 years for it to be successful. Are you going to give up in the third year? Are you going to give up in the second year because you haven't seen anything? That's why I haven't even changed. I haven't stopped my series yet. Sorry. I'm still in season 1. I could have stopped season and started season 2 in a month. But I said, no, I have to build my audience, and I have to keep going even when I'm tired, even when I don't feel like it, even when it doesn't look like it's working. We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep striving. That's one of the things. Put that in the notes, in the comments, please. We got to keep moving. We got to keep pushing, and we got to keep striving. Tifa says, I got 1 million affirmations to get me going. That's right. And we got to pull on those things. We got to pull on those things. Dion says, yes, look at Sarah in the Bible. Timing was everything. And although, now, she didn't believe in God's timing. So she tried to fix it herself and made a bigger mess. So that means we have to be mindful of the timing. Is it now? Are we discerning right? But nevertheless, still keep going. Keep pushing. Keep striving. Keep moving. Oh, listen, did you see that? Tifa said you can always message her if anyone wants some affirmations. You know, because we have to be able to talk to ourselves and talk ourselves into the things that we need to do. Like I talk about me being a procrastinator, like it doesn't make any sense how I procrastinate. I procrastinate and it's like, why are you procrastinating? You don't have nothing but air and space to continue and to do the things that you want to do. But because you have that air and that space and that time, that's why procrastination comes up. But if you put yourself and you put yourself on a time limit, you set goals for yourself, you can make it. You can succeed. Tony said, go, Tifa. But yeah, you know what I mean? If you and believe me, she really means it, because my sister-in-law, she sent it in the mail to her. Positive affirmations. So please, if you need it, if you need her information, contact me. I'll give you her information and you can message her and she will send you affirmations, because we all want to help each other. And that's another thing about your soul tribe, the people that you keep around you. The people that you keep around you should always be pushing you for greatness, okay? They should always be encouraging you. And if you have people around you that is not encouraging you, you need to get from amongst those people, okay? Because not everybody's going to understand your vision, but everybody should be able to say, well, if you believe it, I believe it. And I'm going to add my faith to your faith and believe that this will come to fruition. Those are the type of people that you need in your corner. You don't need anybody that has self-doubt and doubt in you. Look, Tan said she is dope, 100, because she is. So when she said it, she meant it. So I'm going to put it up here again. That's her name on Facebook. If you want to message her, you can. She has 1 million affirmations. Okay, and scriptures to go along with it. All right. So I also so it's coming to the time when we have met our hour. We did it, y'all. But before I go, I want to give y'all like a preview of next week's show, because it's gonna be great. It's gonna be with the male and female, me and another guest, a male, and we're going to talk about love versus lust. And I want y'all to tune in to that, okay? Also, I want to thank everybody for the donations. They sent donations in. And I want to thank everybody who sent the donations in. Y'all know who y'all are. If y'all would like to donate to At the Root of It to keep our vision going, please message me in my messenger or on Instagram. But I thank everybody who actually sold into and donated to At the Root of It. I am so grateful, grateful, grateful that you see my vision and that you see that I'm not giving up. So until we meet again, till we meet again, I'll see y'all next week. Remember to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please share this this video with people who you may think is discouraged or feeling low, okay? And until we meet again, guys, next week, same bat station, same bat time. Have a good night, y'all.
Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step 1, self-love above anything. then your